Hey y'all, welcome to my channel Reviewed, where we talk about all things television and film from today and yesteryear. So today I wanted to come on here and do a quick recap of Big Brother season 26. I wanted to do the first few episodes. And before I get started, just let me say this. I am not on social media. I do not have any social media accounts. Social media is just something I was never really into. And where I'm working currently, I just feel like it's best for me not to be on social media. But once I start doing this full time, then of course I will utilize social media. So, with that being said, I am not able to see all the live feeds and things of that nature that be going on in the Big Brother house. I am able to get the information, and I do go on Joker's update to kind of see what's going on, you know, in case I'm rooting for someone, which I currently am not at the moment. When I want to know who won veto or head of household, I will use Joker update website to kind of keep me updated on the goings on in the Big Brother's house. But anyway, let's get into this review. So of course, the first day, which was the first, they let 8 house guests in, and then they had to compete in these competitions. And right here is Miss Angela doing the little colorful thing where they had to remember these colors and put them in order or whatnot. And this particular um, comp was for them to get those special privileges or whatnot that they were able to attain from Ainsley, who we learned is the whole AI generated person that's going to be in the house with the house guests this season. Now, this game here was giving Fear Factor. I was like, okay, Big Brother, y'all stepping it up a little bit because this is giving Fear Factor with the spiders and snakes and stuff. So I did kind of like this game. This game was kind of cool. The guy from New York, oh my God, he took me and he was like, it's smelling like New York up in here. I love his accent. He took me out when he was talking about that. But this competition, I was surprised that some people were able to make it through it because I know a lot of people have phobias, but I did enjoy this particular comp. So this is the second day where the other 8 house guests get to come in, and this is Quinn, and this is the competition. And this kind of surprised me because I thought they would be doing the same games. So I was surprised that they switched up the games for the house guests once the second half of the 8 ended up coming in and competing for the special prize or whatever from Ainsley, the AI. But this game right here, it was okay. It wasn't, Big Brother is known for their awesome games, but this one right here was just kind of meh. Now, this game here, I was like, this one was very difficult to me. Like, to me, out of all 4 of the competitions they had to compete in for those special prizes, this one to me seemed like it was the hardest because of the way that they had to maneuver the circle through the puzzle. So that was crazy. It was just crazy. So here's where we have the house guests finally in the same room. All of the house guests are together, and Julie bids them adieu. And this is where they start to do introductions with one another and just basically letting people know who they are and their ages and things like that. So here we get to the HOH competition. And when they got in there, they had to they had to have groups of 3 or whatever, and they was just tossing this thing to see who got the highest number. And 2 of the house guests actually had to sit out the game because they weren't able to get into a group with anyone. And of course, Angela ends up winning the competition. So Angela, she is head of household. And at one particular time on the show, she ends up having a conversation with Matt after she and him kind of bump heads. And basically, he goes into her room and he tells her, if you're thinking about putting me up, I'm going to have the votes to stay in. And to me, I don't think his delivery was that of an aggressive tone. However, Angela perceived it that way, but she did not utilize that in the moment. She waited and she let it boil over, which was absolutely ridiculous to me. So this is when everybody comes down. They're getting ready to have the HOH nomination meeting. And before this takes place, Angela is having conversations with people in the house because she's trying to fill out who people would like to see on the block. And so, of course, she wants Kenny up because she just like, whatever reason, she feels threatened by Kenny. She's like, he's definitely going up. She ain't getting good vibes from him or whatnot. At this point, she already has her mind made up about Matt, where she's not going to put him on the block because she feel like they squashed their beef, whatever. And of course, the house guests are telling her about the sprinkle lady with the sparkling edible glitter. Like, girl, go sprinkle that somewhere else. Anyway, so people are not feeling Lisa. I think that's her name. So of course, that's the name that's being tossed out. So of course, this is when she does the nominations, and y'all, the look on Lisa's face when she turned that key and saw her face, honey, I hollered. It was hilarious. So she's basically going through the people that she's nominating. She nominates Chemo. She basically says these are people that she just feel like she didn't mesh with or whatever. They didn't really talk game or whatnot. And eventually, she turns Kenny key, and Kenny's on the block. Then she starts crying. I'm like, why are you getting emotional, dear? This is what you do in Big Brother. And I get it. Hey, I guess when you in a house with people for a certain amount of time, you build some type of attachment, even though they've only been there a week technically. But I mean, it is what it is. But when she started getting emotional and things like that, I'm like, ma'am, calm down. You already knew what it was. That's why you were going around asking people who they wanted to see possibly on the block, because you really wasn't sure about who to put up outside of Kenny. But yeah, her getting emotional and things like that kind of took me by surprise, because I was just like, this is what you got to do. It's no hard feelings. You playing the game basically. That's all you can do at the play the game. So yeah, we had a part in the episode where Angela, she's HOH, and she literally is watching everything the house guests are doing, and she is so paranoid. She's like Matt is trying to turn the house against her. Like, this woman is a prime example of a Big Brother super fan gone wrong. Like, she is paranoid beyond belief. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous. And then she's like, at one point, she's like, she can't sleep. She's having sleepless night because she literally is just coming up with all this stuff in her head, and it's completely out of order. Even when Quinn comes to her and tell her about the alliance, she's acting all happy and things like that, and then she's like, oh, I don't trust him. I'm like, what is wrong with her? But anyway, she eventually, after a sleepless night and her delusional assumptions, she goes downstairs into the kitchen and she basically lets have on Matt. Like, she is saying such childish and unbelievable things to this young man. Like, basically saying he had crazy eyes and he's a brat. And I'm like, but you're the one displaying those behaviors. You're the one displaying bratty behavior and making all these crazy faces. Like, oh, first of all, it's one thing for Matt to be going back and forth with his peers, someone his age, but she literally is old enough to be his mom. And it's just like, I wasn't feeling it at all. Okay, granted, maybe she felt valid in her feelings, because she does say to the house guests, "Oh, he was aggressive. He threatened me." Again, that's not what I saw, but I was not on the receiving end of Matt's words either. So I can't say that her feelings are not valid. However, what I saw was not what she was saying, and he's in shock. The house is in shock, and she's just going on and on and on. I'm like, this woman is so ridiculous. Like, what is her problem? And again, to me, if she felt that way, she should have addressed it with him one on one, because she let it boil over, and this was the outcome, with her not addressing it, in that moment when she, or whenever she realized or assumed that he was being aggressive. But anyway, when he, starts crying and he was like, my mom has to see this, I felt sorry for him, because that let me know that he respects what his parents think, that he wants to represent them in a positive way, because clearly his mom did something right. And she didn't raise a brat, ma'am. But I wasn't feeling it at all. It really made me feel away, because I have my daughter is an adult, but you're not going to talk out the side of your neck to my child. That's still my child. She's an adult, but she is still my child. So I just felt sorry for him. And Angela is she is out of order. She is completely out of order. And I just was not here for her shenanigans at all. So here we have the veto competition, and it was like a spelling bee or whatever. And then the house guests, they got to choose certain letters that they did not want other house guests to have access to use. And Lisa ends up winning the competition, which was cool. I swear, when they be doing the little competitions when they have to crawl through that sticky stuff, I'll be like, how do they like? Oh my God, all that slime and goo and honey, whatever that stuff was, it was just completely ill. Like, ugh, I'm so funny. Ugh, I don't think I could crawl through stuff like that. But anyway, so they have the competition. Lisa ends up winning, and of course, we know who Angela is going to replace Lisa for. So Matt is on the block. He goes up as the third nominee, and I'm also wondering how long they're gonna continue with the three nominations because at some point they're gonna go back to two. But I guess that'll be left up to Ainsley, AI, whatever. So here we have Chemo talking to Takar. I like Takar. And he's basically, just trying to fill out people to see who he can get to basically have his back and vote for him. Also, at one point, Matt is going to talk to Quinn, and I did appreciate Quinn. I kind of like Quinn too. He was honest, and he was like, "Look, I'm kind of leaning towards Chemo. I can't promise you anything. I can't promise that I'll vote for you." So I like Quinn for that because he wasn't basically spinning yarn. You know what I'm saying? Like he was not trying to tell Matt what he wanted to hear. He was honest. He was like, I just really can't guarantee you that I'm gonna vote for you because he's like, I'm gonna look out for Chemo. But anyway, so Chemo is he's trying to fill out the house guests and talk to certain people. And the one thing I will give this particular group of house guests credit for is, they was just like, look, if a dude like Matt is in the house and he goes on the block, we need to keep him there. So I do like the fact that they're not trying to play the radio and go along with, oh well, we should just keep them another week or so. I did like that about them. Like they kind of like, okay, now if we got him on the block, we gonna nip this in the bud. Period. Yo, Cedric and his bonnets is sending me in the best way. Listen, do you understand when I saw him with the bonnet on? He had the black one, now he got the pink one. I was like, oh, he is all right with me. He is not afraid to let y'all know. Look, I got curly natural hair. I gotta keep moisture on my hair. So all the people who are not familiar with bonnets, y'all, that's what bonnets do. They protect our curls, they protect our moisture and all that good stuff. So shout out to Cedric because he took me out with these bonnets, honey, and I am here for it. Okay. So here we have Angela. She's talking to Kenny and Quinn, and she basically tells Kenny, I can't wait for you to, kick his butt in the competition. And Kenny basically says, I'm not on, I'm that's not what my headspace is. He's basically saying I'm in there to do my best and win, but it's not because I'm trying to beat Matt. And this lady has a whole fit. I'm very disappointed to hear that. That's very disappointing. Like, ma'am, who are you? This is a grown ass man just like you, man. Why are you talking out the side of your neck to this man? I'm telling y'all, I don't like this lady at trying not to be disrespectful. I don't like this lady at all. So they end up going to the competition, where they go into the virtual world of Ainsley or whatever. And they end up having this competition where they had to guess which house guest was shown the most in all the little screens or whatever that they saw. And of course, Chemo wins. And I was happy that he won. I like Chemo. And so here is where Julie announces the winner of the virtual reality game or whatnot. And y'all, the look on Angela's face, this lady was so elated. She was so excited. She was just like filled with awe. You know what I'm saying? Like that Chemo won and that Matt didn't because she wants Matt out the house. Okay. And quite as it's kept, I'm glad Chemo won too because, I will always root for the underdog, and I like him. And he basically was thrown on there, and Angela did let him and Lisa know that they were not her targets. That Kenny was, but of course she didn't flip from Kenny to Matt because she can't stand Matt. So everybody's excited that Chemo won. To Core and all of them, they're excited that he gets to stay in the house or whatnot. And Angela is on cloud nine. So of course we reach eviction night and Matt is evicted from the house. Now again, what I do like about the house guests so far is the fact that they had a target and they took it out. You know what I'm saying? Like they did not waste time by getting Matt out of the house because it could have went the other way. And of course Angela's happy. She's happy that he's leaving. And, I got to give them their props, because too often in Big Brother history, we will see house guests keeping people we know need to be up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So I do like the fact that they felt like he would have been a threat and they got rid of him, they first go around. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at that. Of course, McKenna, she's in her feelings. His roommate, and potential Big Brother romance or whatever. But she's upset. He's getting ready to leave, understandably so. Um, what I liked about this is when he went out on stage to greet Julie, he asked her if he could give her a hug. So, yes, Angela, he is definitely a very, very respectful young man. He clearly has learned how to be a gentleman by asking permission. So no, dear, he's not a brat. You know, I oh that woman, that woman, that woman, that woman. But yeah, I just, unfortunately he had to go, but I'm glad that the house guest did not keep him in the house and he possibly become a threat, later on down the line. So, in case y'all have not picked up on it, I am not feeling Angela. Angela has got to go. Okay? Y'all better get her up out of there. The way that she talked to Matt, the way that she came for Kenny, please believe she gonna come for a couple of more y'all the same way. So y'all better get her up out of there, because one day y'all gonna wake up and this is what's gonna be going on.
No more hangers! What's wire hangers doing in this closet when I told you no wire hangers ever?